What happened will shock you, because I never thought love could turn into something that would test every part of me. Before I continue, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from. The first time I saw him, I felt like I had stepped into a storm. His name was Noah, and he wasn't the kind of man who simply walked into a room. He owned it. I was sitting at a cafe with my best friend, just laughing about something silly when my eyes caught his. It was like the air shifted, heavier, tighter, almost hard to breathe. His gaze lingered on me too long, and instead of looking away, I held it. That was my first mistake. He came over confident, too confident. "You shouldn't stare at men like that," he said, voice low. Lips curved into something between a smile and a warning. I wasn't staring, I shot back, even though I knew I was lying. Noah didn't let it go. "You were." "But that's fine. I don't mind being looked at by you." I should have laughed, should have turned away, but something about him pulled me in. He was bold, almost arrogant, but he made it sound like charm. By the end of that evening, I had his number in my phone. By the end of the week, he was calling me every night. By the end of the month, I was already his. But what I didn't know was that Noah's love wasn't soft or patient. It was fire. It burned, it consumed, and it demanded everything from me. One night, as we walked near the riverside, his arm around me, I noticed the way his grip tightened every time another man looked at me. At first it felt flattering. His jealousy seemed like proof of how much he wanted me. But slowly it grew heavier, sharper. "Why was he looking at you?" Noah asked after a waiter had smiled too long at me. "He wasn't." "You're overthinking." I tried to brush it off. "No, I saw it. He looked at you like he wanted something. And even if he did, it doesn't matter. I only want you," I said, kissing his cheek. But the way his jaw tightened told me it wasn't enough. That night, when he dropped me home, he leaned close and whispered, "Don't forget, you're mine. No one else gets to look at you like that." At first, I thought it was passion. I even smiled because I thought he just loved me too much. But that was before his passion turned into possession. It started small. Messages every hour asking where I was, who I was with. Then it became sudden visits at places I hadn't told him about. He always found out somehow. And then came the anger, sharp and fast whenever he thought I was hiding something. The real crack appeared one evening when I was late to meet him. I had stayed longer at work, but by the time I reached the restaurant, Noah's eyes were already dark. "You're late," he said, his voice flat, but his hand gripping the glass too tightly. "There was traffic. I texted you." "Traffic doesn't take an hour," he snapped. His eyes scanned me as if he was trying to read secrets written on my skin. "Who were you with?" "I told you I was at work." "Don't lie to me." His hand slammed the table, making people turn to look. I froze, embarrassed, but before I could speak, he leaned closer. "I don't like being tested. You belong to me. Don't make me prove it." That night I went home shaken, but when my phone buzzed hours later with a text, "I'm sorry. I just love you too much," I let my heart forgive him. That was my second mistake. Love makes you blind, they say. In my case, it made me see only what I wanted. Noah could be sweet, gentle even when he wanted to be. He brought me flowers, kissed my forehead, held me as if I was fragile glass, and in those moments I believed the darkness wasn't real. But then came the betrayal. I found out one night by accident. A message lit up on his phone while he was in the shower. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. And what I saw made my stomach twist, her name, her words, the way she called him love. My chest felt like it was breaking. I wanted to scream, cry, throw his phone, but when he came out of the shower, towel wrapped low on his waist, he smiled at me like nothing was wrong. "Why do you look like that?" he asked. I held up his phone. "Who is she?" The way his face changed will stay with me forever. His eyes narrowed, his jaw locked, but he didn't look guilty. He looked angry. "You went through my phone? That's what you care about? Not that you're cheating?" "I'm not cheating," he snapped, stepping closer. "You're overreacting. She's no one. Don't twist things." "She called you love," I whispered, tears burning my eyes. "She calls everyone that." Stop making drama, but I knew he was lying. His silence, his defensiveness, his eyes that didn't meet mine, it all screamed truth. And yet when he pulled me into his arms, holding me so tightly I could barely breathe, whispering, "Don't ever think you can leave me. You're mine no matter what," a part of me froze. Was this love? Or was this something else entirely? So I didn't sleep that night. Noah's arms were around me, heavy and tight like chains disguised as comfort. My body was pressed against him, but my mind was far away, spinning in circles. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her name flashing across his phone. Every time I shifted, he pulled me closer, as if afraid I would slip away in the dark. By morning, I had decided to confront him again. But when I woke, he was already awake, watching me. His hand brushed a strand of hair from my face, soft, almost tender. "You were restless," he said quietly. I stared at him. "I know about her, Noah. Don't lie to me." For a moment, he didn't speak. Then he smiled, a slow, dangerous smile. "Even if there was someone else, do you think it matters? Do you think I'd ever let you go because of it?" My heart dropped. "So you admit it?" "I admit nothing," he said, standing up, pulling on his shirt. "But let's say I did. You'd still be mine. Nothing changes that. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't even guilt. It was possession, pure and cold." I wanted to scream, but my voice was stuck. Instead, I sat there shaking, realizing that I had fallen in love with a man who didn't see me as a person, but as something he owned. Still, leaving wasn't easy. Every time I tried to pull away, he knew how to pull me back. His words were like poison wrapped in sugar. One evening, after days of silence between us, he showed up at my door with roses, his eyes soft, his tone almost pleading. "I don't want to fight," he said. "I don't want to lose you. You're the only one who makes me feel alive." The anger in me melted a little. "Then why hurt me?" I whispered. "I don't mean to. I love you too much. Maybe it comes out wrong, but I can't stand the thought of you looking at anyone else, or leaving me." The way he said it, so raw, so broken, made me ache. And against my better judgment, I let him in again. That was my third mistake, but things didn't go back to normal. They got worse. His jealousy grew like a shadow, darker each day. Once I smiled at a male colleague too long during a lunch break. That evening, Noah stormed into my apartment, slamming the door behind him. "You think I don't see it? The way he looks at you? He's just a friend," I cried. "No man is ever just a friend." His voice was sharp, his eyes wild. He grabbed my wrist, pulling me closer. "Tell me you don't want him. Tell me you only want me." "I only want you," I said, terrified. He stared at me for a long moment, then suddenly pulled me into a kiss so fierce it stole my breath. When he finally let go, he whispered against my lips, "Good, don't ever forget that. It was toxic, I knew it." But the way he could switch from rage to tenderness, from fury to desperate love, it kept me tied. The betrayal didn't end with one message. I noticed patterns. Calls he ignored around midnight, sudden disappearances with vague excuses. Every time I asked, he twisted it back on me, saying I was paranoid, insecure, ungrateful, and yet there were nights when he held me so tightly, whispering, "You're everything to me," that I almost believed him. The turning point came unexpectedly. I was at a friend's birthday party, something Noah had insisted on attending with me. The whole night, his hand never left my waist, his eyes never stopped scanning the room. He was polite to others, but his grip on me was too firm, his smile too sharp. At one point, an old friend of mine, Daniel, walked over to say hi. He hugged me lightly, friendly, nothing more. But I felt Noah stiffen beside me. The moment Daniel walked away, Noah leaned close to my ear, his voice like ice. "If he touches you again, I'll break his hand." I froze, my heart pounding. "Noah, stop. He's just nothing," he snapped. His eyes burned into mine. "No one gets to touch what's mine." The rest of the night was unbearable. When we finally got home, he exploded. "Do you enjoy making me jealous? Do you like it when other men look at you? Touch you?" "No. Noah, it's not like that." I cried. He grabbed my face in his hands, not gently. "You drive me insane. I can't stand the thought of losing you. I'd rather burn the world down than watch you with someone else." Tears streamed down my face. "This isn't love." His grip softened for a moment, his eyes flickering with something like pain. "It is. It's the only love I know." That night, as I lay awake beside him, I realized something. Noah wasn't going to change. His love wasn't safe, wasn't soft. It was possession disguised as devotion, and if I didn't do something, it would consume me completely. But walking away wasn't simple. Every time I tried, every time I thought about leaving, his voice echoed in my head. "You're mine. Don't ever forget it," and deep down, despite everything, part of me still ached for him. The days after that party felt like walking on thin ice. Noah was calmer on the surface, but his eyes followed me everywhere, sharp and unblinking, as if waiting for me to slip. Every call I answered, every step I took outside the apartment, felt like it had invisible strings attached to him. One afternoon, while I was at work, he showed up without warning. My coworkers were shocked. He strolled in like he belonged there, ignoring the receptionist who tried to stop him. He walked straight to my desk, towering over me with that intense gaze. "Lunch," he said simply, not even asking. "Noah, I'm busy," I whispered, embarrassed as my colleagues stared. His eyes narrowed. "Too busy for me?" My heart sank. I stood up quickly, forcing a smile at the others. "I'll be back soon," I murmured. He didn't say a word until we were outside. Then, gripping my hand a little too tightly, he muttered, "I don't like men looking at you like that. They stare at you like they want something they can't have." "They're just coworkers," I tried to explain. "You're imagining things." "No," he said firmly. "I know how men think. I was one of them before you. But now you're mine, and I won't let anyone take you away." The way he said it sent chills through me. It wasn't just jealousy, it was obsession. That night I decided to do something bold. I called my friend Emily and told her everything. She had always been skeptical of Noah, but I'd brushed off her warnings before. "You have to leave him," Emily said, her voice sharp with concern. "This isn't normal. It isn't safe." "I know," I whispered, tears filling my eyes. "But it's not that simple. He makes me feel like I can't breathe without him." "That's not love," Emily said softly. "That's control. And it'll only get worse." I wanted to believe her, but part of me still clung to the Noah who brought me flowers, who whispered against my skin, who made me feel like the only person in the world. But Emily's words stayed with me. The real breaking point came a week later. I had gone out with a group of friends for dinner, something Noah had reluctantly agreed to. But halfway through the evening, my phone buzzed with his messages. "Where are you? Who are you sitting next to? Why haven't you replied?" I felt suffocated, but I ignored them, trying to enjoy the night. That was my mistake. When I got home, Noah was already there, sitting in the dark on my couch. The moment I walked in, the air crackled with tension. "You ignored me," he said quietly, too quietly. "I was with friends," I explained, my voice trembling. "I told you that. You didn't answer." He stood up slowly, his eyes blazing. "Do you know what that does to me? Do you know how it feels to imagine you laughing with someone else, giving your smiles to them instead of me?" "Noah, please." He slammed his hand against the wall, making me flinch. "You don't get it. You're mine. You don't get to ignore me." Tears filled my eyes. "I can't live like this. This isn't love." For a moment, silence filled the room. Then his expression shifted. The fury melted into something almost broken. He stepped closer, cupping my face in his hands. "You're right," he whispered. "It isn't love. It's need. I can't exist without you, and I know you feel the same." I wanted to deny it, but my chest ached with the truth. Despite everything, despite the fear, some part of me still craved him. That was the cruelest part. He had made me dependent on him even when I wanted to escape. But something changed that night. For the first time, I saw clearly that if I didn't take control, Noah would never stop. His love was a prison, and I was the prisoner who had forgotten how to leave. So I made my first bold move. The next morning, I called my boss and asked for a work trip out of town. It wasn't much, just 3 days, but it was distance, space, a chance to breathe without his shadow over me. When I told Noah, he froze. "A trip?" His tone was sharp. "Without me?" "It's for work," I explained carefully. "I can't refuse." His eyes narrowed, studying me. For a long moment I thought he'd say no, but then to my shock he smiled. "Fine, go," he said. "But remember, you'll come back to me." "You always do." His confidence unsettled me, but I packed my bags anyway, heart racing. For the first time in months I felt hope. When I reached the hotel in another city, the air felt lighter. I could breathe, laugh, even sleep without checking my phone every hour. Emily called and I told her I felt almost free. But freedom is never that simple. On the second night, as I returned to my room, I froze. Sitting on the edge of the bed, his eyes locked on me, was Noah. My suitcase slipped from my hand. How did you get here?" He stood slowly, a small smirk playing on his lips. "Did you really think you could run from me?" My heart pounded in my chest. "Noah, please. This isn't right. You can't just follow me like this." He stepped closer, his voice low and dangerous. You belong to me. Distance doesn't change that. Nothing does. And as his hand reached for mine, I realized the truth I had been avoiding. Escaping him wouldn't just take distance. It would take strength I wasn't sure I had. I backed away until my back hit the wall. My chest rose and fell quickly, panic stealing the air from my lungs. He was here. He had followed me. No matter how far I went, Noah's shadow stretched longer. You can't just appear everywhere I go, I whispered, my voice shaking. Noah tilted his head, as if I had said something foolish. Of course I can. You're mine. Where you go, I go. This isn't love, I said, my voice breaking. His eyes darkened, and for a second I thought I saw something wounded there, but it vanished as quickly as it came. He stepped closer, his hand sliding along my arm possessively. Maybe it isn't the kind of love you wanted, but it's the only kind I can give. And it's enough, I shoved his hand away. It's not enough for me. His expression hardened. Don't say that. His voice dropped lower, sharper. Don't say things you don't mean. I do mean it, Noah. You're suffocating me. You don't trust me, you don't respect me, you only want to own me. For a long moment he just stared at me. Then slowly he laughed. It wasn't warm or joyful. It was bitter, edged with something dangerous. You think you can walk away from me? You think you can live without me? Yes, I forced out. Even though my heart was racing so fast I wasn't sure I believed it. His laughter stopped instantly. He leaned in, so close I could feel his breath on my skin. No, you can't. I pushed past him, grabbing my phone. My hands trembled as I dialed Emily's number, but before it rang, Noah snatched it from my grip and threw it on the bed. You don't need her. You don't need anyone but me. That was the moment something snapped inside me. My fear turned into anger, sharp and steady. You betray me, Noah. You lie, you cheat, and then you dare to tell me I don't need anyone but you? His eyes flickered. He didn't deny it this time. Instead, his jaw clenched, his body stiff. I made mistakes, he admitted, voice low. But I never loved anyone like I love you. She meant nothing. They all mean nothing. You're the only one I can't let go. Tears filled my eyes. If you loved me, you wouldn't break me like this. For the first time, he looked shaken. He reached out as if to touch my face, but I stepped back. That rejection, small as it was, lit fire in his gaze. You'll forgive me, he said finally, his voice steady but his eyes wild. You always do, but I didn't answer. That silence was my first act of defiance. That night, when he finally left the hotel, I collapsed onto the bed, shaking. My phone buzzed with messages from Emily, worried about why I hadn't replied. I didn't have the strength to explain everything yet, but one thought burned in my mind. I needed a way out. The next morning, I returned home, pretending nothing had changed. Noah greeted me like a lover, pulling me into his arms, kissing me like I was oxygen. But something in me had shifted. His touch no longer felt like safety. It felt like chains. For the next few days, I played along. Smiled when he expected me to, answered his calls, pretended to melt into his arms. But beneath the surface, I was planning. Every night when he finally fell asleep beside me, I stared at the ceiling, whispering to myself that I would find the courage to leave. The opportunity came sooner than I thought. I was at his apartment when a message popped up on his laptop. He had left it open while taking a shower. The name made my stomach clench. It was the same woman from before. Against my better judgment, I clicked. Her words were bold. I missed last night. When will you come again? The blood drained from my face. My hands shook, but I forced myself to scroll. Message after message revealed a truth I had been denying. He wasn't just obsessed with me. He was using others too, lying to them, manipulating them the same way he did to me. I felt sick. But I also felt something stronger than heartbreak. Rage. When Noah came out, towel draped around his shoulders, he smiled at me like nothing was wrong. What are you looking at? He asked, noticing the laptop. I closed it slowly, my expression calm even though my insides were burning. Nothing important. He studied me for a moment, as if sensing something, but then shrugged. Good. Come here. I went to him, but inside my decision was made. He thought I was trapped, that I would always forgive, always bend. But this betrayal was different. This time I wouldn't let him win. That night, when he finally fell asleep with his arm heavy across my waist, I lay still, staring at the dark ceiling. My heart pounded, but it wasn't from fear. It was from resolve. I whispered into the silence, words only I could hear. You think I'm yours, Noah, but soon you'll see. I was never truly yours to keep. For the first time, I felt a spark of power, small but real. It wasn't freedom yet, but it was the beginning. The morning after, Noah woke before me, his arm tightening around my waist like he was afraid I'd vanish. His lips brushed my hair. Stay in bed. Don't go anywhere today. His words, once sweet, now felt like an order. I forced a soft smile. All right. Inside, though, my mind screamed. I couldn't keep living like this. When he left for a meeting, I finally exhaled. The apartment felt too quiet, but at least I had space to think. I sat by the window staring down at the busy street below. Cars honked. People hurried past, free and alive. I wanted that again. I picked up my phone and texted Emily, I need your help. Don't ask questions yet. Just meet me tonight. Her reply came almost instantly. Of course, I'll be there. For hours, I paced the apartment, nerves eating at me. Every creak of the building, every sound in the hallway made me jump, afraid Noah had come back early. When he finally returned, his energy was different. He pulled me into his arms and kissed me harder than usual, almost desperate. I don't like being away from you, he murmured against my skin. I tried not to shiver. It was just a few hours. He looked at me then, eyes narrowing. Did you miss me? Yes, I whispered, because lying was easier than fighting. His grip loosened, but only a little. Good. Because I can't stand the thought of you with anyone else. Not even your friends. Especially not Emily. She doesn't like me. I see the way she looks at me. Panic rushed through me, but I forced my expression to stay neutral. You're imagining things. He studied me for a long time, as if trying to read my soul. Finally, he let out a slow breath and smiled. Maybe I am. But don't think I don't notice when you're hiding things. His words hit too close to the truth. My heart raced, but I stayed silent. That night, when he finally fell asleep, I carefully slid out from under his arm and tiptoed into the living room. I grabbed a small bag I had packed earlier with only the essentials: phone, ID, a little cash Emily had given me before. I paused at the door, listening to his breathing. Each second felt like a risk. One wrong move and he'd wake, and then I didn't want to imagine. Finally, I turned the knob slowly, inch by inch. The door clicked open. My pulse thundered in my ears. I slipped into the hallway and closed it behind me. Freedom. But it was fragile. I hurried down the stairs, clutching the bag to my chest. Outside, the night air hit me like a wave, sharp and cold. Emily's car was parked across the street, headlights off. When she saw me, she waved frantically. I ran to her, my legs trembling. The second I got in, she grabbed my hand. What happened? You look like you've seen a ghost. I swallowed hard. Not a ghost. A monster. She didn't ask more. She just started the car and drove. For the first time in months, I felt the tension in my chest loosen. I wasn't safe yet, but I was away from him. That was enough for now. But deep down, I knew Noah wouldn't let this go. He wasn't the type to watch someone walk away. Sure enough, my phone buzzed minutes later. His name lit up the screen over and over again. Calls, messages, where are you? Come back, don't do this. I'll find you. I turned the phone off, my hands shaking. Emily glanced at me, her face tight. He's not going to stop, is he? No, I whispered. He never stops. We drove to her place, a small apartment far from Noah's world of glass towers and expensive cars. It felt warm, safe, like a hiding place. She made tea, but I barely touched it. My mind was a storm. Listen, Emily said gently, sitting across from me. You can't go back. You know that, right? I know, I said. My throat ached. But he'll come. He always finds me. Then we'll make sure he doesn't, she said firmly. This time you won't face him alone. Her words gave me a fragile kind of hope. But as I lay on her couch that night, staring into the darkness, my phone powered off beside me. I couldn't silence the voice in my head. Noah won't let go. He'll come for you. And when he does, everything will change. The thought sent a shiver through me. Because deep down, I wasn't sure if I was ready to fight him, or if part of me still belonged to him, no matter how much I wanted to break free. And the next morning, I woke to sunlight streaming through Emily's thin curtains. For one beautiful second, I forgot everything. Then reality rushed back. The couch beneath me wasn't mine. The air smelled of coffee brewing in a cheap pot. And Noah wasn't here, or maybe he was already looking. Emily came out of the kitchen holding 2 mugs. "You didn't sleep much," I rubbed my eyes. I kept hearing his voice. "Like he was right outside." She set the mug in front of me. "That's the fear talking. He doesn't know where you are." But she was wrong. Noah was clever. Too clever. When I turned on my phone, hundreds of messages poured in. "Baby, come home. Don't do this. I'm nothing without you, please. If you don't answer, I'll find you." "You know I will." The last one made my blood freeze. "You can't hide from me. Not when you belong to me." I shoved the phone away, my hands trembling. Emily caught the look on my face and cursed under her breath. "He's insane." "No," I whispered, staring at the floor. "He's obsessed. We tried to distract ourselves. Emily made breakfast. We talked about meaningless things, but my mind was somewhere else. I felt like a hunted animal. Every sound from outside made me flinch. By evening, the storm broke. There was a knock at the door. Firm, controlled. The kind of knock that carried danger. Emily and I froze. She whispered, "Don't move." She tiptoed toward the peephole and looked. Her face drained of color. My stomach dropped. "It's him, isn't it?" She didn't answer, but her silence screamed everything. "Noah," I breathed, panic clawing up my throat. The knock came again, harder this time. Then his voice. Smooth, calm, but edged with steel. "Open the door, Alara. I know you're in there." Emily turned to me, eyes wide. "How did he? He always finds me," I whispered, tears stinging my eyes. Noah's tone shifted, louder now. "You think you can run? You think she can protect you?" The sound of his fist hitting the door made me jump. "Open it, or I swear I'll break it down." Emily rushed back to me, gripping my hands. "Don't panic. We're not letting him in, but part of me wanted to." His voice pulled at me like a chain I couldn't break. I shook my head violently. No, I can't." The pounding stopped. Silence stretched out, heavy and suffocating. For a second, I thought maybe he had left. Then his voice, low and terrifyingly calm, seeped through the door. "You can hide behind her walls, Alara, but you belong to me. And when you're ready to stop pretending, I'll be waiting." Footsteps echoed down the hall. Emily locked the door tighter, but my heart was still racing. My whole body shook as I sank to the floor, burying my face in my hands. "He won't stop," I whispered. Emily knelt beside me. "Then we'll find a way to stop him." But deep inside, I knew the truth. Noah didn't give up. His love wasn't gentle. It was a storm, and storms didn't fade. They destroyed everything in their path until there was nothing left. That night I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Every word he'd said replayed in my mind. "You belong to me, did I? Or was I strong enough to break free?" I didn't know anymore. But one thing was certain. Noah wasn't done. He never would be, and the next time he came, I wasn't sure I'd have the strength to run. I didn't see him for 2 days. 2 days of silence that felt like a trap. I kept waiting for the knock, the shadow outside the window, the sudden ring of my phone. Nothing came. Emily tried to act calm, but I could see the fear in her eyes. She jumped whenever her phone buzzed, double-checked the locks 3 times before bed. On the 3rd night, I convinced myself maybe he was gone. Maybe Noah had finally let go. But at dawn, I woke to the sound of someone breathing, not in the room, just outside the window. I sat up slowly, my chest tight. The curtains shifted faintly like someone's hand had brushed them. My skin prickled with dread. I whispered, "Emily." She stirred on the couch, rubbing her eyes. "What is it?" Before I could answer, there was movement. A shadow at the window, then a soft voice, almost gentle. "Alara." I froze. My heart pounded so loudly I thought it might crack my ribs. Emily jumped to her feet, fury blazing across her face. She yanked the curtain open. Noah stood outside, his eyes locked on me like I was the only thing left in his world. He didn't look wild. He didn't scream. He just stared, calm but terrifyingly certain. "Open the window," he said, voice low. "Please," Emily snapped. "Get away before I call the cops." Noah didn't even glance at her. His gaze never left mine. "You're shaking, baby. You don't have to be afraid. Just come with me. Let's go home." My throat closed up. "Noah, you need to leave." His jaw tightened. For a moment I saw the storm flicker beneath the calm. "You think she can keep you from me? You think I'll just walk away?" He leaned closer to the glass. "You're mine, Alara. You've always been mine." Emily grabbed her phone. "That's it. I'm calling." But Noah's eyes softened and his tone dropped to something almost broken. Don't do this to me. Don't pretend you don't feel it. I see it in your eyes even now. You still love me? My chest heaved. Did I? Or was it just his voice pulling me back into the chains I fought to break? Emily snapped. She doesn't belong to you. Get that through your head. Noah's calm shattered. He slammed his fist against the glass and I screamed. Emily dropped her phone, startled. Noah, stop! I cried. His breathing turned ragged, his knuckles pressed against the window. Tell me to my face, Ilara. Tell me you don't love me and I'll walk away. But if you lie, I'll know. The silence cut like a knife. My lips trembled. The truth was tangled. Love, fear, anger, they were all twisted together. Finally, I whispered, You're hurting me. Something flickered in his expression. Guilt. Pain. Possession. I'm hurting because I can't let you go. Emily pulled me back from the window, her voice sharp. Enough! We're done playing this game with you. She dragged me toward the door, but I dug my heels in, torn in two. Noah called out one last time, his voice breaking. Ilara, if you leave me now, you'll regret it. Not today, not tomorrow, but one day you'll see no one else will ever love you the way I do. Then he was gone. Just like that, Emily locked every bolt, her hands shaking. He's dangerous, Ilara. This isn't love, it's obsession. I knew she was right. But deep inside, I also knew something else. Noah wasn't finished, and neither was I. Because no matter how much I wanted to run, some part of me still burned with the fire he lit. The spark we shared wasn't gone. It was waiting for the moment it would either destroy us both or bind us forever. Emily had insisted we leave town at least for a while. He knows where you are, she said. It's not safe here anymore. Her plan was simple: pack light, drive to her cousin's cabin hours away, and vanish until Noah gave up. But as I folded my clothes into a small bag, an ache settled heavy in my chest. I wasn't sure if Noah ever gave up. The air in the apartment felt charged, like the moment before a storm. Emily's keys jingled nervously as she locked the door behind us. We made it halfway down the stairwell when the shadows shifted. He was there. Noah stepped out from the corner, calm, collected, but with a fire burning in his eyes that made my knees weak. He wasn't disheveled. He wasn't desperate. He looked like a man who knew he had already won. Emily gasped. How? Move, Noah said softly, his voice cutting through the space like steel. His gaze never left mine. This is between me and her. Emily stood her ground. You're not taking her anywhere. Noah's lips curved into something dark, something almost mocking. You think you can stop me? He took a slow step forward. You don't understand. She's mine. I shook my head, clutching my bag against my chest. Noah, please don't do this. He reached me in 3 strides. Emily tried to block him, but he pushed her aside with a single arm. His focus locked on me. His hand grabbed my wrist, firm but not painful, and I froze. Noah, look at me, he demanded. His voice cracked with something raw. Tell me you don't feel it. Right here, right now. Tell me to let go and I will. His grip tightened, not on my skin but on my heart. My voice shook. You're scaring me. He swallowed hard, eyes glistening. I'm scared too. Scared of losing you. Scared you'll let the world convince you I'm the villain. But I'm the only one who loves you enough to fight this hard. Emily rushed forward, pulling at my arm. Ilara, we need to go, now. But Noah's words were poison and medicine at the same time. They sank into me, burning, healing, confusing. I just want to talk, he said, softer now, his forehead almost touching mine. Not here. Somewhere you'll actually listen. I should have screamed. I should have pulled away. Instead, my voice came out in a whisper. Where? Emily's eyes widened. Ilara, don't. But Noah caught the crack in my resolve and his entire body shifted. He exhaled like a man who had finally caught his breath after drowning. You'll see, he murmured. Before I could react, he pulled me with him. Emily shouted, grabbing at me, but Noah was faster, stronger, determined. The stairwell echoed with chaos. My bag slipping from my hands, Emily screaming, Noah dragging me through it all. Outside, the air was cold, sharp against my skin. A car waited at the curb, black and sleek. He opened the door, and for a heartbeat I thought about running, but Noah leaned close, his voice trembling. If you run, I'll chase you. If you scream, I'll silence you. But if you sit with me just for a little while, I'll give you the truth you've been too afraid to hear. My chest rose and fell with ragged breaths, and then I got in. The door shut with a finality that sealed my fate. Emily's voice echoed behind us, muffled and frantic but fading as Noah pulled away. The car was silent except for my pounding heart. His hand brushed mine, tentative yet possessive. I didn't want it this way, he whispered. But you left me no choice. I turned my face toward the window, refusing to meet his eyes. My voice cracked. What are you going to do to me? He didn't answer right away. Then softly but with unshakable certainty he said, I'm going to remind you what we were, and what we still are. The night swallowed us whole as the city lights disappeared in the rearview mirror, and for the first time I realized escape might no longer be possible. Not because he wouldn't let me go, but because part of me didn't want to. And the road stretched on endlessly, dark and empty, the hum of the car swallowing every word I didn't dare say. My chest was tight, my palms damp. Noah's hand rested loosely on the steering wheel, but every so often his eyes flicked toward me, burning with a mix of triumph and fear. We finally pulled into a secluded property on the outskirts of town. A small lake shimmered in the distance, moonlight dancing across the water. The house perched nearby wasn't grand, but it was quiet, private. Too private. I hesitated when he opened the door for me. Where are we? His voice was steady. A place no one can touch us. I swallowed hard, every instinct screaming to run. But his hand pressed gently to my lower back, guiding me inside. The living room was simple, sofa, fireplace, the faint smell of cedar. Yet the silence inside was louder than anything. He set his keys on the table and finally turned to me. His face was softer now, almost pleading. I didn't want to take you like this. But you kept running, my voice cracked. Because I'm scared of you, Noah. The words cut him deeper than any blade could. His jaw clenched, his eyes shone. You're scared because they poisoned you against me, because they made you think my love is dangerous. But tell me, did you ever feel this way with anyone else? Did anyone else set your heart on fire like I do? I froze because the truth was tangled. No one had ever made me feel what Noah did. Not joy, not terror, not the intensity of being utterly consumed. He stepped closer, his hand lifting to my face. Alara, answer me. My lips trembled. It's not love if it hurts like this. His expression hardened. Love hurts. Obsession hurts. Because losing you would kill me. His voice cracked, breaking through the walls he tried to hold. Don't you see? You're the only thing that keeps me breathing. I turned away, but his grip caught my wrist again, firm, possessive, trembling. And what about him? He hissed, my head snapped toward him. Who? Noah's eyes darkened with jealousy. The man who calls you late at night. The one you thought I wouldn't notice.
Do you think I don't know, Alara?
My heart lurched. There's no one else, he laughed bitterly. Don't lie to me. I saw the messages. I saw the way you smiled at your phone when you thought I wasn't looking. Who is he? Tell me. I yanked my hand free, anger flaring through the fear. You twisted everything. He's a coworker, a friend, someone who doesn't lock me in a cage. The silence after my words was sharp, dangerous. Noah's chest rose and fell, his eyes glistening with something unhinged. Then slowly his anger cracked into devastation. You think I'm your cage, he whispered, but I'm the only one who would burn the world just to keep you safe. My throat closed up. Safe? You terrify me. His hands ran through his hair, pulling at the strands like he was unraveling. I terrify myself too. He dropped his gaze, his voice raw. But you still love me. I know you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be here. You would have screamed, fought, jumped out of the car. But you stayed. The truth in his words hit me like a knife. Why did I stay? Tears stung my eyes. Because I don't know how to let you go. For a moment, silence wrapped around us. Noah stepped forward, his hand cupping my face again, gentler this time. His thumb brushed away a tear, his eyes softening with desperation. Then don't, he whispered. Don't let me go. My body trembled, caught between the gravity of his touch and the fear of losing myself. I could feel the walls between us collapsing, the fire we kept denying roaring to life again. But deep down, I knew. Love like this couldn't survive without breaking us both. And the night pressed in heavy, the silence between us thick with everything left unsaid. His hand still lingered on my face, trembling, like he was holding the last fragile piece of his sanity. My heart pounded so loud I could hardly hear my own breath. Noah, I whispered, my voice breaking. This isn't how love should feel. His eyes searched mine, desperate, hungry, lost. Then tell me how it should feel. Because without you, I don't feel at all. I shook my head, stepping back. Love isn't chains. It isn't fear. It's not breaking someone just to keep them close. The pain in his eyes twisted into something darker. Then maybe I don't know love, he said, his tone trembling. Maybe all I know is you, and I can't survive without you. He moved closer again, his presence suffocating and magnetic all at once. Every step he took pulled at something inside me I didn't want to admit still existed. Noah, please, I begged. Don't make me choose between freedom and you. His chest rose and fell heavily. If you walk away, you'll kill me. The words shattered something inside me. Tears streamed down my face, hot and unrelenting. And if I stay, you'll kill me. He froze, his breath catching. The fire in his eyes faltered, replaced by raw devastation. For the first time, he looked broken. Silence swallowed us, so sharp it hurt. Then the front door burst open. Emily, her voice cut through the air like a blade. Let her go, Noah. His head snapped toward her, fury flashing like lightning. You don't belong here. Emily didn't flinch. And you don't get to decide who she is without. She grabbed my hand, pulling me behind her. But Noah's grip caught me again, desperate, clawing. Don't you dare take her from me. Tears blurred my vision as I tried to break free. My voice cracked, screaming, Noah, let go. And then, he did. Just like that, his fingers slipped away, his body collapsing to the floor like a man who'd lost the war. His head dropped into his hands, his shoulders shaking with a sound I had never heard from him before. Anguish, raw and unfiltered. You'll come back, he whispered hoarsely. You always do. Emily didn't wait. She dragged me out into the night, shoving me into her car. My sobs shook my chest as the engine roared to life and the house disappeared in the rearview mirror. The drive back was a blur. My heart ached like it had been torn in two. Every memory of Noah, every smile, every kiss, every cruel word tangled inside me like barbed wire. Emily reached over, squeezing my hand. He doesn't own you, Ilara, you hear me? He never did. But deep inside I knew the truth wasn't that simple. Because Noah did own pieces of me. Pieces I wasn't sure I could ever get back. As the city lights came into view, I whispered to myself, this is the end. But my heart knew better. For love like ours never truly ended. It lingered. It haunted. It burned quietly in the shadows, waiting for the moment it could spark again. And maybe one day when I least expected it, the last spark of us would ignite once more, either to heal what was broken, or to destroy us completely. If you like the story, hit subscribe button for more.